Good afternoon, children, and welcome to your science lesson today. So the day is Friday, the 29th of January, 2021, and your learning objective is to make observations, explain why, and form a conclusion. Now, don't worry if you're confused about our learning objective today. We will be going over it in detail in a moment. But first, as always, let's do our Just Check-in. So from last lesson, I want you to think about what does it mean to make a prediction? And then from last unit, I want you to think, what do our bones do? How do they help us? And what is their purpose? So spend about 5 to 10 minutes getting this done. Okay, let's see how you did. So from last lesson, a prediction is what someone thinks will happen. A prediction is a forecast, but not only about the weather. Pre means before, and diction has to do with talking. So a prediction is a statement about the future. It's a guess, sometimes based on fact or evidence, but not always. Okay, so last lesson you made a prediction about what was going to help our cress seeds grow the best, okay? And you would have been hopefully using your knowledge from what we've learnt so far about plants, okay? Now from last unit, let me just get rid of this. Bones provide support for our bodies and help form our shape. Although they're very light, bones are strong enough to support our entire weight. Bones also protect the body's organs. The skull protects the brain and forms the shape of the face. So well done if you got any of those points right. Okay. So into our lesson today. What do plants need to grow well? So if you recall, last lesson, we set up our investigation, okay? And we wanted to explore what happens if a plant has no water. Can a plant grow in the dark? If it has no heat, will it still grow? And can it grow with no soil? Okay. And then we had one plant set up, one pot, with everything as a control, everything that we think a plant would need. So the soil, the water, the light, a good temperature, okay? Just to check that our prediction was going to be a fair test, okay? So hopefully this is what we did last lesson. Hopefully you remember that. Okay, so going back to our learning objective for today, you will be observing. Okay, so observing means looking. Okay, so here's this little guy using a magnifying glass to look at one of our results. Now, observation is more than just the bare act of observing. So you won't just be looking. You'll be looking and seeking knowledge. So what has happened? What can you actually see? And thinking about your science knowledge. And we'll be going into more detail in a minute about that. Okay, so explaining why. Here, you'll be using what you have observed plus your prior knowledge and understanding. So you'll be in the observing box, you'll be looking and saying what you can see, okay? And then explaining why you'll be trying to back that up with what you already know, okay? And I will model this in a moment, so don't worry if you're a bit confused. And then finally, you're going to be making a conclusion. So a conclusion is summarizing the results in a few sentences and using this to support your conclusion. So it's kind of your finishing off part of your experiment. So I conclude that, or this experiment has proved that, and it will be using facts from your results to back this up. Okay, so here are the results. Now these have been growing for a week. So this was the one with no soil. It had all the other things. So it had water, it had sunlight, it had warmth, okay? And as you can see, I won't be saying too much because this is what you'll be doing for your observing, but look at the seeds. Have they sprouted? Have they grown tall? Have they all sprouted? Okay. Now this was the one that was in the fridge, so a cold temperature. And I've done a close-up here so you can see something's happened to the seeds, but not much at all, but you'll be writing about that in a moment. Okay, now this is the one that was in the dark. Now observe the colour of the leaves and think about what we've learnt about in previous lessons, okay? This was the one with no water, okay? And this was our control one. So this one had everything we thought a plant needed to grow, and look at that, okay? So even if you're doing this on Teams, just watch this just so you know what to do, and then you can leave the video and do it. If you don't have access to Teams, you can't do the assignment, absolutely fine. Just copy this out and fill in where it indicates to, okay? So we've got our title, Investigating What Plants Need to Grow. It says, last week, Miss Davis set up a science experiment on our behalf. We wanted to find out what conditions cause cress to grow best, okay? The different conditions were, so you're going to fill these in, okay? So one with no, okay? So what they had on the lolly sticks as labels. And then this is referring to last lesson. It says, my prediction was that the plant with conditions would grow best and the plant with conditions would grow the least or not grow at all. Okay, so you need to fill in these bits here. And here we go now. So I've put in an image of the plant, okay, and I've put in the conditions. Now you need to do your observations, so you need to write about what you can see here. And if you want to see more close-up pictures, just flick back on the video to where I had the big ones, okay? What you can see here, and then this tells us that, okay? You do that for all of them. So what you can see and how that links to what you've already learned about what plants need. Okay, so you do that for all of them. And then finally, you're going to do your conclusion. Okay, so I at least want to see 2 sentences for this. If you want to do a paragraph, if you're feeling really confident with your science, that would be amazing, okay? So conclusion, the results of this experiment tell me that, okay? Now, spend as long as you want on this. Should be about an hour to write this all up, okay? I know you're going to do really, really well. Remember, you can flick back through the video to zoom in. You can remind yourself of what the different things are, okay? I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been doing this together in class, but I hope you enjoyed seeing the pictures and things, and I can't wait to see your assignments. Take care, guys. Bye.